And we're back. If you heard the loud bang, I don't know what happened at the top of the street. Anybody who knows like the area here, I kind of live a stone's throw from Route 6 in an area that's highly populated with accidents, and it's both Dartmouth and Westport. So, yeah, power's back, alarm set. That was a little weird. He kind of looked at me funny and then just like jumped up and went to the window. So we'll see what's going on. But game 4, we're waiting for the starting lineups and who's in and who's not in. Okay, Stark. No, we're not going for a walk. Come over here, bud. Who's in, who's out, the whole bit. So anybody has any comments at all? Share them. Any questions, thoughts? People messaging me. I'm fine. It's a dead-end street. Nobody hit anything of mine. And if they did, they didn't belong down here. So no worries. Yeah, we'll see what's going on with Marcus Smart and Robert Williams. Earlier, Shams said he was playing. Shams is usually pretty good with his info, so I totally trust him. Unless something happened in warm-ups where he hurt himself jumping. But Robert Williams is the key. If he ain't out there, that's where the situation really gets ugly. We saw what happened with Bam Adebayo the other night. Just going nuts in the game. And the Celtics got to make these bunnies and be a lot better passing. The passing was atrocious in the last game. So we will see what happens. And 24 turnovers will do that. They almost put Mike's Pastry out of business with that many turnovers in the north end. So we'll see what happens. Keys to tonight, to me, shutting down Adebayo, seeing who's playing and who isn't, and finding out if there's a guy on that team, because it's a pretty deep bench, pretty deep roster. I mean, someone like Duncan Robinson isn't playing that much, and he's signed for big money and can hit three-pointers to see how much more time he gets. And if he's on Tatum, Tatum needs to go at him. I mean, drive to the hoop and go at him. Force him to play defense. He does not want to play defense. He doesn't really know anything within the three-point line. That's pretty much what his specialty has been in this league. No Tyler Hero. He comes in, he gives a spark. So, no Tyler Hero tonight. Sixth man of the year. There's a reason why he's the sixth man of the year. And it's because the guy comes in at offense. If you remember a guy like Vinny the Microwave Johnson for the Detroit Pistons and going way back. Just the type of guy who comes in, hits a few shots, and kind of eases into the flow and makes everybody else feel more comfortable. Like, all right, we may be down 6, but he just hit a 3. We're within 3, and he's got that ability to go off. And no Kyle Lowry, not at 100% is, a big deal. He's the guy who scares me a lot, too. There's a lot of guys on this team that scare me. We'll see what's up with Jimmy Butler. They're calling, from Eric Spoelstra's side, they're calling it a dirty play. Peyton Pritchard, I haven't even seen the play yet. So I'm hoping they're going to show the video and they're, the pregame does, they're showing outfits. I'm all set. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for basketball. Any comments? Anything you think for game 4? Send them on in. That's what we're here for. And I'm Buddy, at E2g Founder here on Twitter. It's the E2g Sports Network, the Unsung Sports Grid. May 23rd, about an hour and a half from tip-off. And it seems more interested in showing me fashion than telling me who's playing. So, sorry. I love NBC Sports Boston normally, too. Jaylen Brown's 40 points the other night. He started getting it going late. Little of the momentum killed. That three-pointer at the end, I mean, they were within 1 and a 3 drained right in your face. Just makes it a 4-point game, and it went downhill from there. It definitely did. Tatum came back in. There was no real flow to the offense. Then you have that lazy pass in to Marcus Smart. That was just pathetic, one of the 24 turnovers. Got to take care of the ball. There is no sport out of the 3 out of the big 4, you got to take care of the puck, got to take care of the ball. And, when beautiful people show up on your screen, like Kay here, set himself up, looking all nice. He always looks nice. What's up, my friend? Oh, you need volume. So we jump on. He's an hour behind. How's the world in Chicago today?
Can you hear me now?
How's Chicago today? How's the weather?
Well, spring-like weather today. It was sunny, but you could feel it breezy. But we're used to it,
Nice. See you in 5 weeks, my friend. Can't wait. Just your thoughts on Game 3 and going into Game 4 and this injury report. It looks like an NFL injury report, like Belichick and Shanahan back in the day, trying to outdo each other with like 35 guys, probable.
Well, it comes with its terrain, and it's quickie bomb time, like would say in soccer. And the players having one injury or the other, it's not coming as a surprise because of the demand of the conference finals. And Tyler Hero, we understand, is out. And the other time I overheard you saying maybe these Boston center, it's questionable. I don't know if he's confirmed just yet.
Williams. Here's what happened. Sam came out earlier and said he was, going to be at least available. So I don't know if it's another like Game 7 situation where he's sitting in his uniform looking pretty, or what the story is. But they need him out there. That was ugly the other night.
Yeah, it was definitely the struggles, and even though they rallied at the end, but it was too little, too late. And thank goodness Marcus Smart made a comeback despite that scare. And for Jason Tatum also stepping up to the plate, even though he struggled all through Game 3. So Boston Celtics are expected to do everything in their powers to even the series tonight against the Miami Heat, even though Miami Heat won't put their best strength players, so to speak, but we know their bench is also loaded so they can mix and match to forestall whatever onslaught that the Boston Celtics are going to bring up. But for the Boston Celtics, the injury news does not warm the heart too much, but we know they can try to pull the chestnut out of the fire like they've done a few times. And Ime Udoka to actually think of the lads aimed at getting something out of the game.
Yeah, so we'll see. Still, I'm checking up on injuries, but like, how poorly was it? So, I mean, how embarrassing to the game. Like, football, hockey, and basketball, you got to take care of it. The biscuit or the ball, you got to. And the other night was very pathetic to watch.
Yeah, it definitely was. And for Boston Celtics, I wouldn't know why they off and buff. They give you one impressive performance today, and some other time they just tend to maybe fail to show up as you would expect them to do. These things do happen. Consistency is what they need right now, and they can't afford not to bring their A game on a regular basis. Because to be the best, you have to beat the best, and the best always comes up with their very best on the court every now and then. We've seen how the Golden State Warriors are making the Dallas Mavericks look ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've witnessed a combination of veteran leadership and some young lads who are trying to make a name for themselves, and the likes of Jordan Poole. That is why a very, very solid team in Dallas Mavericks, who took away last year's finalists Phoenix Suns in that embarrassing manner of Game 7 in the semifinals, are now struggling against the Golden State Warriors. For the Boston Celtics, they can't afford not to bring their A game on a regular basis. If not, it's just going to be a stroll in the park for the Miami Heat. And I know avid followers of the Boston Celtics do not want that right about now.
All right. Marcus Smart is out per Shams tonight.
Per Shams.
Increased swelling in his sprained right ankle. No Marcus Smart tonight. So probably expect Derek White to get the start and a little bit more Peyton Pritchard tonight.
Well, Marcus Smart is like the anchor of the team. A veteran of some sorts. and one player that the younger Legion look up to. See what happened when he copped that injury, and now he was able to shake it off and come back to the court, and the whole TD arena erupted. And that was when the rally kind of started. Look at the putback or the step back 3-pointer he made from just beside the perimeter. And that was like what turned things around for them. And they started the rally from 26 points. It got reduced to just one, even though they lost by 6 points, 109 to 103. But the comeback of players like Marcus Smart gingered the team towards getting something out of the game. Although, like I said earlier, it was too little too late. And no doubt, his absence, it's going to be missed. Well, Derek White will have to do maybe times 2 of what Marcus Smart does. But I still believe the ability of the Boston Celtics to sometimes prove critics or naysayers wrong would augur well for them tonight. And somehow Ime Udoka and the boys will find a way around it, trying to get one tonight because they need to even the series. Do not forget that it's the Miami Heat that has got the benefit of home court in Game 7. Should this series stretch up to Game 7?
Mm-hmm.
So Boston Celtics know that they need to win today to even the series to 2-2, bring it back to TD Garden, and hopefully that it ends in 6. So it's in their best interest to do everything possible to get a win today. Although we know Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat and boys will want to consolidate, trying to make it 3-1, so to make it difficult because they know they have the advantage of Game 7 at home court in Florida. So that is why Marcus Smart being out is in a way going to affect them. But I'm still trying to believe that based on what I've seen of the Boston Celtics from the first round beating Brooklyn Nets, and of course trying to get something out of the semifinals when they had their back against the wall, we'll try to pull the chestnut out of the fire today by getting something against the Miami Heat. It's not going to be easy, but it looks like it's kind of possible.
So last week we talked about Aaron Nesmith, and he came in and made a little bit of an impact. Hard place. That's what I liked about it. It wasn't, coming in nailing a three. There was from behind block and just playing hard defense. I mean, now that you need another defensive guy, is he somebody we see again tonight?
Of course, you're gonna get Nesmith if Marcus Smart is out. When Derek White is gonna be substituted at some point, you will have to go back to your bench. So that is why the strength and depth of the players that you get on the bench is very, very, very important. It is nights like this that you get to see the input of the role players, because when the stakes are high and people like them are called upon, they just got to deliver, because deliver they must do, or else they'll be condemned to losing this series to the Miami Heat eventually. And I believe that is not what they want. Like I said earlier, it's not going to be easy, but it's what we've seen them do before, especially against the defending champions in Milwaukee Bucks. Now they can do so against the Miami Heat. We saw them do it in the first half of Game 1 before they fizzled out. They can do it. It's just the staying power. Do they have that consistency to ward off the onslaught of the Miami Heat? Remember in Game 1, they were in the lead, and somehow in the third quarter, they felt like a pack of cards for Miami Heat to win Game 1. In Game 2, it was a different ball game, and Jason Tatum stepped up big time. So if we can find a duo of Jason Tatum and, of course, Jaylen Brown, even though with the high turnovers they had in Game 2, if they can try to forestall the turnovers that they have by reducing it to the barest minimum and taking advantage of their attacking prowess offensively, it's something that they can do. We know that we saw Bam Adebayo come up big time in the absence of Jimmy Butler offensively and defensively, having a double-double of 31 points and 10 rebounds. We know that PJ Tucker as well is like the relentless defender that we've seen him do over and over again. Not forgetting Kyle Lowry, the playmaker and the dribbler. I overheard you earlier saying Kyle Lowry scares you. If he does, I believe the Boston Celtics are not scared of him and will definitely make tonight's game count. And news is that Robert Williams might just be in finally, but is he going
Mm-hmm.
to start?
Yeah,
We
that's
don't
the
know.
question. After what
That's
we
the
saw with
question.
Game 7. Just going to the Western Conference side, what are they just back to being what they were, Golden State, just hitting on all cylinders?
Well, for the Golden State Warriors, they are rolling back the years. Although the Splash Brothers are yet to hit the heights based on what we've known them to be able to do over the years. But for Stephen Curry having about consistently having 30 points, 30 plus points in this series, still says about what he's got to offer. For Klay Thompson, whose shooting range is hovering between 40 to 50% three-pointer, we know he's getting better. But considering the injuries he's had and the number of time he's been out for, he's doing really, really well. Then for Draymond Green, we know he's the perimeter defender that the team usually relies on. So those three guys who've been there, done that from 2015 up till now, been the core of the team, and Kevin Looney, who is stepping up to the plate in terms of rebounds, as well as Moody and Jordan Poole. Not forgetting Otto Porter Jr., even though he got injured last night. But that compendium of players are definitely stepping up to the plate. And with the coaching input of Steve Kerr, they are making the Dallas Mavericks look pedestrian. The Dallas Mavericks, like I did say in some of our previews some weeks back, that Luka is going to be Luka. But if the supporting cast steps up, definitely they would be able to get one against their opponent. The likes of, what's his name now, Finney Smith, and even the guy that won the Social Justice Award, with a funny hairdo, I'm trying to remember his name now. Some of them went for 0 for 5 from three-pointer. That's a potential 15 points that you could not get. So if you could go 0 for 5 from 3 points, imagine a potential 15 points added to the points of the Dallas Mavericks. It would have meant something. They needed to get that win yesterday. They started as though they were going to get it, but somehow they just managed to fizzle out, unfortunately. Then I tried to get one against the Golden State Warriors in Game 4, but trust me, it's done and dusted. The Golden State Warriors are going to be back in the NBA Finals again, unfortunately, for the Dallas Mavericks.
So the Western Conference side, June 2nd, Golden State. It's a matter of solving the other half of that puzzle, and Game 4 of that is tonight in the Eastern Conference Finals. You're watching the E2g Sports Network Game 4 preview. Kay and myself, just talking a little hoops. Robert Williams in, Marcus Smart out. We're trying to find out any more on the Heat side. We haven't heard anything. They got Big Perk on the set, who is one of my favorite human beings on this planet. I just love watching Perkins talk. He does not fit the mold of an announcer, and it's beautiful. Keys tonight. Just if the Celtics win, this happens. If the Heat win, this happens.
Well, if the Celtics win, it's even. It's going to be 2-2. And hopefully the Celtics will win because...
But what happens in the game? Like, what happened? Like, does Tatum go off? Is Robert Williams a factor? Like, what's the reason the Celtics win tonight?
For me, I think Robert Williams might just come into the game at some point because he's been doubtful for quite some time. In Game 7 against the Milwaukee Bucks, we thought he was going to play. So his failure to actually feature in that game says that the coaching crew just want to ease him into the scheme of things gradually. And he's missed out some games now for obvious reasons, which means he might be fit, but is he game fit at that level? We do not know. So at some point, they just got to ease him through into the game. If Marcus Smart was fit to play, I would have said he's going to be easy peasy because we saw what he did in Game 2 and also in Game 3 despite being injured. So I'm expecting the Boston Celtics to, start like a house on fire, hit the ground running. You would definitely get some vibe in terms of opposition from the Miami Heat, without a doubt. But should they get in the lead by as much as 10 points, then it depends on how they can defend the perimeter and the rim as well. We know they're going to come out guns blazing, trying to get one, especially knowing that a 2-all game would definitely stretch the series and give them a fighting chance. They know what is expected of them. So Jason Tatum, basically with that 10-point performance, should shake it off and try to be consistent. Last weekend, we were having a chat with MJ and Galen, and they were asking if Jason Tatum is now in the top 10. And I said, maybe yes, but is he going to get in the top 5? For him to get in the top 5 of NBA players, definitely he has to come up on a consistent basis with his performance. Don't give us a 50-point performance game in one game, and in the next, you give us a shabby 10 or 15, and you just fizzle out. So Jason Tatum needs to double up, as well as Jaylen Brown. If the two of them can get at least a minimum of, say, 25 points, between 25 to 30 points, and support cast of Al Horford, maybe Grant Williams, if he's able to roll back what he did in Game 7 against the Milwaukee Bucks, that is a possibility. Derek White as well. Derek White is, how will I put it now, is very, very industrious. He is very, very industrious, gives his best, and tries to make the absence of Marcus Smart not felt so much. So Derek White as well has to step up to the plate. So it's about teamwork today and getting one over Miami Heat. They just need to hit the ground running, start guns blazing, and try to defend as much as possible. The likes of Bam Adebayo and even Victor Oladipo, who replaced Jimmy Butler, would definitely want to give them a run for their money. And Kyle Lowry, with his ball distribution, playmaking, and what have you, will be a huge task for the Boston Celtics to face. But I think the Boston Celtics, from what we've seen of them in this series, and even in the regular season, knows what it takes to actually get one against the opponent in whatever mode, from what we've seen of them. So once they get the lead, be able to defend and not just lose out or maybe fizzle out or run out of steam. Once they're able to stay consistent, they can get this game and possibly get to win Game 3 and have the tide turn in their favor.
All right, I'm just typing something just came across. Just to let you, Hero we already knew was out, but the rest of the cast for the Miami Heat are available, will be dressed and ready to play tonight. That's Butler, Tucker, the whole crew, Lowry. So those guys will all, some form or fashion, be out there tonight.
Well, of course, definitely, apart from Tyler Hero, the 6th man of the year, who's been ruled out, Butler, I understand, is going to be playing. If Butler is in the game with Kyle Lowry, who is back, then expect it to be a very, very feisty encounter. So basically, it's going to be aggressive defense and aggressive offense for the Boston Celtics. You just got to start with that aggression from the blast of the whistle. It's not going to be a difficult task for them to get buckets, get fouled, try to convert from the free throw line, and do everything that they got to do as much as possible, even with the gamesmanship, to get something out of this game. And knowing that Eric Spoelstra is going to put his best foot forward with the best players, Kyle Lowry being a thorn in the flesh, no doubt, as well as Jimmy Butler. But basically, from what we've seen of them, we know they know how to get one over their opponent, regardless of how they set up. So basically, my mantra for the Boston Celtics would just be aggressive offense and defense. And their staying power will be called to question. Do not lose steam. Do not run out of gas. Once they start like a house on fire, like what we saw in the first game of this series in Game 1, when the third quarter, they felt like a pack of cards. It could have been a different ball game had they won Games 1 and 2. It could have been different. But this time around, they're struggling to even the series. They just got to come back and try to make a statement tonight. But they should expect a very, very stiff opposition on the likes of Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler but I know it's not impossible for the Boston Celtics to eventually emerge victorious and even the series 2-all.
Excellent. Okay, thanks for joining me tonight. We'll send people off to their pregame shows, and we'll talk real soon. Thank you, my friend.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.